It's Friday, the 22nd of March, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's get going. Story number 1, the Australian unemployment rate fell to 3.7% last month. That is much lower than forecast and triggers fears that interest rates, unfortunately, might have to remain higher for longer.
Yes, now the labour force figures jump around plenty, but the 116,500 new jobs created last month was way above forecast. The January figure was also revised upwards, meant the unemployment rate fell from 4.1% to 3.7%. We kind of knew it was going to happen, but not like this. 78,000 new full-time jobs, 38,000 new part-time jobs, increase in the participation rate to near record levels certainly took markets by surprise. The ASX jumped by about 1%. The Aussie dollar pushed back above 66 US cents. Over the past 3 months, there's been more than 20,000 new jobs being created each month. The labour market is definitely performing better than expected, particularly given some of the forward indicators, things like job ads. They say that it should have slowed by now, but it hasn't.
So what does it mean then for interest rates?
Well, if I'm the Reserve Bank, I'm thinking to myself, there's no real pressing need to cut interest rates anytime soon. The problem with so many people holding jobs is that it pushes prices, including wages, higher, and that feeds into inflation. And that's what the Reserve Bank needs to do. It needs to beat inflation before cutting rates. The consensus view among economists yesterday was that there will still be a rate cut late this year, but some are pushing out the timing or reducing the number of cuts we're going to see over the next 12 months or so. Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers welcomed the announcement, saying the trifecta of falling unemployment, moderating in inflation and real wages growth reflects the government's economic policies.
All right, moving on to story number 2 now. And Australia's net immigration intake hit a new record of 548,800 people in the 12 months to the end of last September, as the federal government ramps up integrity checks and visa conditions, particularly for foreign students.
The country's total population rose by 2.5% to nearly 27 million, with a big rise due to net overseas migration. During the 12 months, there were 765,900 arrivals and 217,100 departures. Experts say the rise in immigration levels may have peaked, with the number of foreign visa holders expected to fall as they expire or stricter rules take effect. But still, that many new people in the country puts plenty of pressure on housing, and clearly the government wants to bring migration levels down. Now, from tomorrow, there are tougher English language requirements for student and graduate visas, and there'll be a new genuine student test, which will ask students to explain their choice of course, how it will benefit them, etc. The government is trying to prevent misuse of the student visa scheme. It will also increase the use of no further stay conditions on visitor visas, which blocks individuals from transferring to other visa categories in order to stay in the country longer.
Story number 3 now, Sean. Being a director isn't a bad gig, with new figures showing that 16 ASX board members earn more than $1 million in annual board fees.
Topping the AFR Boss magazine ranking of well-remunerated directors is incoming Qantas chair John Mullen, who also chairs Treasury Wine Estates and Brambles. His base pay for being a director is $2.12 million. Next is the new chair of Westpac, Stephen Gregg. He also chairs Ampol. He's being paid $1.93 million. Then comes Scott Perkins, chair of Woolies and Origin Energy and a Brambles director. He takes home $1.82 million in company director fees. Not one of the 1 million plus directors is a woman, though females now account for more than 30% of directors on the ASX 200 companies.
Story number 4, a big one out of the US, Sean, where authorities are taking on Apple, claiming it is breaking competition laws by blocking rivals from accessing hardware and software features of its iPhone.
The case will mark the 3rd time that the Justice Department has sued Apple for antitrust violations in the past 14 years, but it's the first case accusing the iPhone maker of illegally maintaining its dominant position, according to a report on Bloomberg. It escalates Biden's administration antitrust fights against most of the big US tech giants. The Justice Department is already suing Alphabet's Google for monopolization. The Federal Trade Commission is pursuing antitrust cases against Meta and Amazon. This lawsuit comes after Apple was hit with a €1.8 billion fine this month for shutting out music streaming rivals from offering cheaper deals. It just shows how closely regulators are looking at these big tech companies at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly does. Last one, Sean, story number 5. I don't know what to make of this one. Luxury brand Hermes International is being taken to court with allegations it is so exclusive that it's actually breaking US antitrust laws.
It's all about the Birkin tote bag. It's a status symbol for very rich people, costing up to $100,000 for one tote bag. Hermes will not sell the Birkin to just anybody. You need to buy thousands of dollars worth of other products just for the chance to get access to the leather totes, according to a lawsuit filed in California. The allegations say they are not available for purchase on the Hermes website or displayed in stores, and there's an unfair business practice, according to a report on Bloomberg. The suit accuses the luxury goods giant of structuring its compensation for sales associates in a way that reinforces what they describe as the unlawful practice of tying the purchase of Birkin bags to other products. The associates, according to the suit, do not earn commission on Birkin bags, but do on other Hermes products that are less expensive. Great story? Really? Not so sure. Toys for rich kids.
Yeah, that is quite remarkable, isn't it? There we go, the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Friday, the 22nd of March, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.